So hi guys, this is it's already 10 a.m. here. Should be 9 p.m. on Eastern time. So let's start with the live session of modeling. Let me first talk to you a little bit about how it's going to be the workflows. So the first thing you need to know is that to make a successful model, you need to have a lot of reference. That's the most important stuff. Let me get the reference here. Okay, so we're modeling two models. One is the Ferrari Dino 206. This is a very complex model because it has a lot of curves. Let me change something here. Let's go to the okay. Okay, because the model has a lot of curves and it's pretty much all curved. There's no planar face anywhere. So that makes it quite difficult to model. But well, there's a challenge. There's a challenge. This is going to be a really challenging model to develop. It's going to be the hardest model I have done so far because my previous model, like the sorry, we're not seeing anything here. Sorry. Okay, we're back. Okay, so like I was saying, it's going to be a very hard model to develop because it doesn't have any straight or planar faces. As you can see, the whole car is just curves, curved surface. There's no planar face anywhere. So it's going to be a challenge. It's definitely going to be the most challenging one that I have developed so far. So I'm not even sure how much it's going to take me. What uh, I will make sure to record every part of the process. The final product of that I hoping to be something like this, like my F14, a smaller C car with a 3D printed chassis. That should be the end product. Not sure at what scale yet, because like I say, it's a very complex model. It's a very tiny car, so it probably at true 128 scale it won't fit the chassis. So let's just see how it goes. But at some point we're going to have a body developed, and that's what I wanna show you guys how to do that. The other model we're going to do is the ACV 8x8 vehicle. This is the new vehicle of the U.S. Marine Corps. Um, this is a more easy project because it has a lot of planar faces. The difficult in this model is that since it's a really new vehicle and I think it's still on prototype stage. I think they are still testing it. There's no like a final version, so every picture I can find there are a slight difference between the models. So that's a difficult part in here is to like uh, to get to get one actual model is hard. So I'm just going to assume that, for example, is not this one, is this one. So the small details are going to be from this picture. But like I said, there might be some changes because they are testing it right now. I have seen the news and stuff, so it might change a bit on the coming days. So, but that's no problem. Today we're going to model major volumes of each of these two vehicles, so this is good enough for now. So I wanted to talk to you about my workflow. You need as much reference as you can find. The ideal reference is to find a mesh model. You know, a model like, for example, the ones you can find here. They're sometimes usable. For example, let's say we're looking for an end wrap. So there's a lot of bad models in here. There's a lot of good ones too. So you just need to sort them out. So for example, if we were going to do a 3D model of, let's say, this is this truck. So this model, as it is not 3D printable, but it can be used as a 3D reference to modeling on top of it the printable or manufacturable model. So this is great. You of course need to check this model against pictures to see how accurate this model is, but it saves you a lot of work, a lot of work. That work is what we're going to do today. So for example, for the F14, I remember that there was a few nice models in here. You see, this seems to be a good model. You will need to check this model against pictures to see how accurate it is, and if it works, you can use it as a reference. But as reference, don't think, uh, at least not to me, it has never worked to me. To grab one of these models and try to print it like they are is a nightmare because they are not meant to be 3D printed. You need to fix a bunch of mistakes, you need to fix the wall thickness, it's a mesh, so it's really difficult to manipulate. So for me, it's not worth the trouble. I prefer to do them from scratch, always thinking about 3D printing, and get a final solid model that is easy to manufacture. Easy, easy, but is more likely to do so. Okay, so today we're going to work on the reference models. For that, I'm going to use SketchUp. This is usually how I start. I could check, I could download a model from here and check against pictures with the method I'm going to show right now. But today we're going to start from scratch. Just a little parenthesis. There are a lot of other web pages where you can get 3D models. Some good, some bad, some from games, some from for architectural visualization. I mean, they can work, but sometimes they are not as accurate as you would like. So it all depends on what you want to do. For me, I like my models to be as accurate as possible. So it usually means that I have to do them from scratch. But like I say, having a 3D reference helps a lot. So well, let's start from scratch right now. So like I pointed out on the description of the video, this won't be a tutorial per se of the program. There's a bunch of them on YouTube, so you just follow follow one. SketchUp is a very easy to use tool. What I want to show is which tools of a SketchUp I use on my workflow and how to use them. I think that's way more interesting than actually show you to how to use the program. So let's get started. I'm working in millimeters. I know that some people like to use inches, but sorry, I'm working with millimeters all my life, so it's not a big deal. It's pretty much the same. We're going to start with the ACD because it's a simpler model to show you the workflow. So the first thing we need to do is to see which image are we going to start with. So ideally, we will have we will need a what in the artist a photographers call a 314 perspective picture. I think they call it something like this might work. The important thing that you need to have in mind is that the picture needs to be on perspective so you can see at least two perpendicular planes on the picture. So for example, in this one we know for sure that this armor plate is vertical and it is flat. And we know for sure that the roof is flat and is horizontal and it is at 90 degrees against the side armor plate. Also, this front here is also flat and it is at 90 degrees from this side armor plate. That's really important to do the follow. So what we're going to do in SketchUp is to use the photo match utility. It's a really nice tool. I would love it if Fusion 360 had this tool. I know a few people have asked for it on the forums. I really don't think they are ever going to put that on Fusion, but it's no problem. We use it here on SketchUp. I'm using a SketchUp Pro, but SketchUp, the free version, also have this tool, so it's absolutely no problem. I think the current SketchUp version, the free SketchUp version, is online. I really don't like it that much. But you can get the SketchUp Make version. I think from 2 or 3 years back. The installer must be on the internet, and that one is free, and you can install it and use it. It also have the tool that I'm going to use right now. So you go to match new photo. You select the photo you like, the one that has the characteristic we spoke of. Okay, and we have it here. So here we just need to tell SketchUp which two planes are at 90 degrees on the image. So like I said, we can go, for example, we can start with the roof. Let's just have this. So why I'm not putting it in here instead here? Because you need to have, what is important is to have two lines that are parallel on the real life. So you have one line here and the other one line here. Hi Toby, thanks for joining us. You're really gonna like this. So two lines that you know on the model are parallel. So here, this line and this line, we know that in the real model are parallel. We also know, and it's also important that they are as far away as possible. You don't want to, for example, you don't want to use a line over here because the photo match won't be as accurate. Okay, so now we need to, with the green markers, we need to do the same with the lines that are 90 degrees from the previous one. I lost, okay, here it is. So for example, I know that this one here, from this vertex to this one, in the real life, this line is parallel to this one. The picture is a little blurry, but it's good enough for what we're doing. So the blue line helps you to see how much of a good work are you doing. So for example, you see this blue line matches the one on the model, that's good. Match the one on the model here, that's good too. The blue line cannot be adjusted. It is calculated from the position of the red ones and the green one. So this is really good. And this one match here and match here. It means we're doing a good job on the photo match. So this is it for now, and this yellow point will mark the origin of the model. Let's set the origin, it can be here. Okay, click, right click, just done, and we're done with that. So right now, this view on SketchUp is matched with the perspective of the picture. So when we start drawing here, the models are going to be on the same perspective. So for example, let's start drawing this side armor. It's a little too low. Well, there's the picture is quite blurry here. Let's check something else. So for example, in this picture, you can see that the back of that plate is not at 90 degrees, so it has an angle. So it's probably, for now, let's just assume it's that angle. We're going to check that later on. So keep in mind that while closer to let's explain that here. So as you move away from the part of the drawing where all lines meet, is going to be less accurate. So for example, here it starts to be not so accurate. Here it should be quite accurate, quite precise. The other thing is that we don't know if this picture was cropped. Was yes, cropped. Ideally, we should use the full picture, just like the camera takes it. But well, sometimes we just don't have it, so we just need to sort that out. Let's keep drawing here. To make sure we're on the same plane, I'm just gonna draw, extend this plane, and keep drawing here. Draw a line. So we have that side armor ready. Let's check if this face is on the same plane as this one. Let's check on the other pictures. It seems to be on the same plane. It only has like a division there. Let's check other pictures. Yeah, it's definitely on the same plane. It only has, I think the interior goes here, and this is just an add-up. But whatever, we're gonna model the exterior part. In this version, yes, this goes out a little bit. So we're just going to follow this line. And here, it starts Not on here, just a little bit on top. Yeah, just like, not sure if you're getting that on the video, but there's a slight color change here. That's where the face actually starts. Okay, so this one is this. Right? It's not in the. It's parallel, but it's not in the same plane. Those little details are important to keep the model as real as possible. So now we go to this angle. It's not clear in this picture, but it is clear on this one. So this line is not parallel to this one. It's parallel to the front. Okay. So we may leave it like this for now. Oh well, let's just draw it and we can adjust it later. Okay, so far this is what we have. Now let's extrude this way to the other side. Okay. And I'm going to divide it in half. Right on the middle. I'm gonna make this a component. This will allow that any change I make this side is going to be updated on the other side. For example, if I draw one here, it's going to be on the other side as well. Okay, here it's looking good. So far it's looking quite nice. So let's finish this upper plate. We know for sure that this one goes this line up to there, goes here, and at least to here. Let's check on the other pictures how this detail works. So as you can see, there's a little bit of triangle. So this part is on a different plane. This one makes a little triangle here. Yeah, you can see that in this picture. Check for another one. Uh, yeah, there's a triangle. These little details matter a lot because they seem to be very small, but they actually just the result of combining the big volumes of the vehicle. So they matter. So like I said, it goes here. So you want to make a triangle there. And at the same time, this one goes to the inside. Yes. We're of course going to adjust, fine tune this on Fusion because there we can match the geometry better. Sometimes, oh, I wasn't working on the component. Let's go inside the component. So this one here goes down a bit. Okay, so we're actually going to draw this one. That one is this intersection. So it's looking great, looking good. Okay, now for the little bit of guessing work. Oh no, let's do something else first. So we have a major volumes done. Like I said, this little difference against the pictures can be do a lot of things. Let's try to make it work. For example, if we change this one a little bit, maybe the center is off. I think that's probably it. I think the center is off. I know it doesn't seem much. I totally get that, but it is really important to make that work, even for really small, really small difference, because the proportions is what matter the most on a model. To be honest, details are easy. Make these bolts and these hooks, these windows, all the stuff is easy. The hardest part is to get the proportions right. So once we have a volume, we can start matching other pictures to see how good this volume is against the other pictures. So let's match a new photo. Say for example this one. This one has what we need. Okay, so on the model, the origin, we could have changed this before matching the pictures. It doesn't have to be the same origin, but it's gonna work like this for now, so no problem. And we're still matching two lines that are parallel on real life. It doesn't have to be the same lines as the other picture. If it is good, if it isn't, it's no problem. For example, I'm going to use this one. Not sure if you can see it on the video, but there's a slight color difference there. It marks the where the two faces encounter. We can also use, um, for example, the let's use the lower part of this, and let's use. We could be tempted to use this one. It might work, but like I said, it's too close to this one. We have. It's better if we put it all the way here. Maybe we could start with this antenna with this detail that is right here, and we can double check if we're good. For example, you see the blue line match the vertical antenna. That means we're on the ballpark. We're close. So let's match this. Remember that this origin point was a little bit, we're going to see that on the image because it was a little bit back. So right now for the scale, we adjusted here. So like I said before, we are mostly sure it's about this because let's because let's put it this way, it was our point of interest in this picture. So for the back, we're going to use this picture. Let's see how far are we from the other one. Let's match this one. And let's compare. It's a little bit off. Let's try to match this one better. Again, this is really, it's a lot of guesswork. So you see, for example, this one, now we match here and here, we're still good. We're still good there. Maybe we can adjust the white of the vehicle. Maybe we can adjust, we can adjust it like this. Sorry, like this. Oh, we're so close. Oh, oh, SketchUp is in inches. Let's change that. As you might have seen, I'm not using any dimension. I'm just going for the picture. That's what is important to me right now. To get the proportions right, I will adjust the dimensions later, the actual dimensions. This is just to get the midpoint. Okay. So we're really good here, and we're really good here. Let's just. mm, I think this little difference is armor plate that is there. Like I said, we're talking about 10 of a millimeter on the final scale model, so it's no big deal. The proportions are really, really on point. Okay, really happy with how it's turning out. Okay, so now we need to model the roof. Should be easy. The boxes on the back, the bottom, and the wheels. Just big volumes, no details right now. So let's do that. Well, before, let's just, yes, let's add some dimensions. I got I got these dimensions from a military webpage. So of course, this dimension, like I said, this is a prototype, so we're not sure where this was measured. I mean, we're not sure if it had this deployed or it didn't have deployed. Not sure if it's counting for this little backpack that it has here. So just take that. Mm, don't take them as serious. I got this one. It was from. Ah, sorry, it's a gift or something else. Photoshop. Doesn't matter. From this one, it seems like the the model is 3.1. This is the by ACV. This is the one that won the contest. The image is absurd, but what is important is to know it says 3.1 meters wide from the armor, not the wheels, from the armor. So that's the one we should use, 3.1. go here. Yes, I want to resize. Let's check that this is not move. It's okay. And now let's check how we got 8 meters. According to this one, it should be 8.9. So we're missing a little bit. So for example, the first thing that it reports to me is that maybe that 3.1 is without the armor. So for example, let's discount a little bit here. Oh, sorry. So let's say and let's draw these volumes. So let's see how much we have now. Nice. Hey, 8.9. This is great. Wow. Great, great, great. So let's double check. Nice. Awesome. So we have this is just really great. I mean, like I said, this is a very kind of easy model because of the boxy nature of it. The real challenge is going to be the Ferrari Dino. So this is just a one up. Okay, so let's draw this one. Let's copy it to the component. So oh yeah, almost forgot about that. Preview one. Okay, save now. Almost forgot about that. So this angle we're going to be matching it. We're gonna we're going to match it with the other picture. But it's okay for now. Okay. Okay. So yeah, the roof starts. It doesn't start here. It starts here because of the armor plate. So how we could do this? Let's match this height. So this line goes over there. And we're just going to move it in the green direction so we get a match. See how it looks. It's not bad, but we should match this face. So see. Okay, so we're here, we're good here. So probably the weird thing is this angle. It has a curve, there. So this is supposed to be like this, but this is a really painful thing to draw on SketchUp, so just going to leave it to do it on Fusion. Uh, see. Well, this is definitely too much. Definitely too much. This angle is way too much. I think we should be closer to this angle. Let's check other pictures. Yeah, no. Yeah, yeah. Here is more evident. Here is more evident. Um, Seems to be about 45 degrees. So let's use 45 degrees. Oh, so this one is closer. 45 degrees. Okay. See how much we have here. 45. Oh, okay. So I was a mistake. Please remember that all this is not actually, this is not the 3D printable model. This is just reference. So we don't need to lose our head here with these small details, geometry details. We just need to make sure it's as accurate as possible. For all this SketchUp glitch is not worth the trouble to make it work. So now this one looks much better. You see? You got a small face there. Yeah, this looks great. And yeah, the difference that we were seeing is that this is bigger. Okay, awesome. So we have the. Oh, sorry, Toby, I haven't checked the question. No, this is. We're just doing the reference model. We're just doing the reference model here in SketchUp to use uh, the photo match utility. Once we have a reference model on SketchUp, I'm going to use that model as a reference in Fusion and actually model it again using Fusion. But since Fusion doesn't have this match new photo match utility, I really I don't see how I could do this on Fusion. To photo match a perspective. I don't think there's any way to do that. If someone happens to know, I'm extremely sure there isn't. So far this is the best workflow I have come up with. So okay, like I said, this difference is really hard to fix because this portion of the image is so small that any change of the on the guides is going to make a big difference. So it's not worth to lose your mind over this. The important thing is that we're getting proportions right between pictures. So now let's go to the front. The front is the one that we're missing. So let's see a few pics here. That detail. On this picture, the vehicle seems to have like an add-on. I'm not sure. It seems to be like you see here. It seems to be like the real plate is on the back, and there's another armor plate here that makes this part longer. So I'm not going to use this picture for reference. This one is well, it's blurry, but you can see that the plate is an add, and the real line of the body is on the back. Also, you can see that it has a little bevel on the front plate, and this is this picture is more clear. So the triangle that we were speaking of before, is here, and the armor plate is in front. So this little triangle is actually this one. So I really don't want to move this anything here, so I'm just gonna move. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. So now move this a little bit here. Everything is still matched. Okay. So like I said, that triangle is here. So that triangle finished with this angle, the angle of the front armor plate. Right now, it's just a random angle. So let's calculate this angle somehow. So one thing that we have for sure is that the midpoint here and the midpoint here, then we could draw, we just find the midpoint here. We already have the midpoint here. Should be a little bit back, and that line will be the angle we need. So let's do that. Let's go below here. Like I said, this involves a lot of guesswork. A lot of guesswork. Right now, I'm trying to imagine a line. I can actually draw it, but I'm trying to imagine a line that goes from here to here. And this line should, the intersection that line with this one should be in half on the midpoint of the new line that we need. Like I say, it's a little bit on the back because of the armor plate. So I know this is kind of hard to explain, and well, of course, you are seeing 20 years of experience and this little detail here. It involves a lot of, I don't know how you say that in English, geometry, analytics geometry, to get this guess right. But that's the way it is, it's a little bit of guesswork involved, a little bit of imagination. But the important thing is that we get a start point of this angle. Now we can check the other picture. Well, it's not actually this one, but this one is also at that angle. Maybe we can check. It's quite close to this one, you see? Seems to be right. The real test is for us to match this picture with our model. Let's try that. So like I said before, you can place your UCS, your origin, anywhere on the drawing. We're gonna place it here. Here. Let's try to keep it on the same direction. And let's start a new photo match. So, like I said before, like it is on the description of the video, these videos are going to stay online for a while. So if you can't catch it right now, it's no problem. It's just my way of work is like this. I like to, just sit down and work for 5 straight hours. So don't like to take too many breaks because this is a lot of mental work. So you do get tired, but also you feel like you're on the zone at some point where all the photo is matching, all the geometry is working. So you just need to, you just don't want to ruin that moment. So this, I just want to focus on this part. Like I said, this is really hard to get right. It's very, very, very difficult. We also don't know if the picture was cropped. We cannot be sure about that. But we're just trying to make it as best as possible. So this is quite good. Quite good. Okay. So there. Well, it seems that we were almost right. You see, all the bolts are pretty much at the same. No, yeah, this is definitely going to work. Let's just adjust it a little bit just to get it perfect. You see, the difference is 0.5 degrees, so it's really not much. But like I said, for the model, all those little proportions matter a lot. That can be the difference between it's okay model and a really good model. So this angle is the same angle here, and it's the same angle here, and it of course is the same angle here. So I'm just going to erase this. Oh, I wasn't drawing on the components. No problem. It's no problem. Okay, let's erase this one. Let's do the same as before. Uh-huh. it is match. Good enough there. Really good here. Really good here. So there you go. It's quite nice. It might be a little bit too small, so this just means that this cut is a little bit to the back. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. Okay, we have lost that one there. Let's just repair. Okay. Okay, now it looks great. Okay, so let's keep going with this. Remember that we were on the back, so the line is this one. So we have this point here. Check it out. It has a little bevel here. So the face actually starts from this point. You cannot see it that clearly here, but it's from here. Okay. Let's just mark that. And it should be the same face, right? All that should be on the same face. Okay, so this is what we have, what we need. This point here. Huh. So this point here is actually this one. The difference is just a matter of the photo match. So, okay. So okay, now we can draw the next phase. That is just going to be this one. This. Body is have to be on this plane, so I'm just going to extend this plane, extend this line. There you go. There you go. It's really nice. Okay. So now let's try to finish this phase. It's gonna be a challenge. Okay, let's not worry too much about this one. Let's do the bottom. That's more important. So we know that this one goes here. This one goes all the way there. This one goes all the way here. Okay. And we're going to start this one from here. Oh, sorry. Wrong direction. Okay. We're going to adjust that later. We just need to check this angle. Almost done. And we also need to solve this geometry here. It's really not that important because like I said, we're going to actually draw this again on Fusion. So it makes no sense to put that much time on this. The important thing is that we need to have a face here. That's it. And here, you're just going to continue this angle, close here, copy this to make the plane, and draw the intersection. Let's clean up this a bit. And we are done with the basic model. Okay, I'm just going to finish it all the way here. Oh, sorry, wrong direction. Sometimes it's hard to draw in the same direction, so just copy it that you know is on the right one. And that's it. The final model won't have this many details. It's going to be a model for wargaming, so let's just see how much details we can put on the suspension. So there you go. This is probably does not finish like this. I need to see more pics. But for now, it's quite good. Now I just like to put some markers on some details that I know I'm going to that we're going to need later on for modeling. Again, this is just reference, so this is to have the position correct. For example, maybe these windows here, the armor division, that's important too. Oh, I'm working on the wrong side. Sorry for that. And this one is not on two sides, so let's fix that. Okay, okay, now it's working. It's good. As you can see, there are some variations on the side armor. I think I like this one. So it's pretty much on top of each wheel, except for this one. It's a little bit behind. So let's do the wheels now. Okay, for the wheels, I'm just going to start from here. Make them a component. And probably not as. Okay, nice. Mhm. They all seem to be on the same distance, so it's working quite nicely. Oh, sorry. Yes. Mm. So so this is pretty much it for now. Of course, this model can be, I can add more details later once we're modeling inclusion if I need the position of one detail, maybe the colors here, not sure. But for now, this is really good, really, really good. Really like it, how everything match. Here, the width seems like they are not matching, but the vehicles right now is running. We're not sure if it is if the suspension is working. This really has active suspension, so can't really tell. But we're gonna model it like this, like it is resting. You know, it also match here. Yes, match good enough. So let's save this. I'm going to take a 1 minute break just to drink a little bit of water. Ah, okay, and the second, we're 1 hour in. I think this is a really, really good result for 1 hour of work. This is going to speed up the modeling and fusion by a lot because we won't be needing to be going back and forward from pictures. So let's start with the Ferrari. That's going to be a challenging model for sure. Save, template, millimeters. Okay. So for the Ferrari, let's look at the reference. Uh, this was just one of the reasons that I picked this model is because I can remember I found that on this web page. I guess this is a collector web page. They have these awesome pictures of this vehicle, so we won't have the same problem as with the ACV. We wasn't sure at which version we were looking at. This is the version, and all the pictures correspond to the same vehicle. What is hard here is that, well, I got a few more from others, but you get my point. What is hard from these vehicles is that we don't have anything like a flat face to make the reference of. So that's where the challenge is. Yeah? Okay. So, well, these are the pictures. First, we need to really look for a few lines that are parallel on the real world and are perpendicular on the real world so we can do the photo match. So for example, in this car, lines that goes in this direction are really hard to find. But in this direction is simple. We know that the line that connects this point with this point has to be parallel to the line that connects, for example, this point with this point. It has to be because the model is symmetric on this direction, so this line should be parallel. For the same here, this line that connects not the profile itself, but the imaginary line that goes from this point to this point should be parallel to the imaginary line that goes from this point to this point. We actually seems to have a straight line here. It's probably only the one of the few ones on the entire model. This line here. This line here also seems to be straight, but we can be sure that the imaginary line that goes from this board to this board is parallel to that one. So keep that in mind. The other thing that we need to find is some lines in this direction. So I was looking at the other pictures. Of course, I have spent a good amount of time looking at this picture, looking for those clues. So this line, for example, the one on the window, seems to be straight enough. It's not totally straight, but from this point to this point, we can assume it's straight. And maybe should be parallel to the other one. At least I thought so. But then I look at this picture, in this one seems to be like this one, this line is parallel to this line. It seems. But then I found this picture, let me search it. Oh, sorry. This picture. Boy, they do not seem to be parallel. Here, it does not seem to be parallel to this one. And this line here does not seem to be parallel to this one. It seems like they are uh, convergent. Not sure if it is the right word, but they are converging to the front of the vehicle. So that just puts another level of complexity. But for now, let's start the photo match with the lines that we have and see how it goes. I also have from the same no, this is from the Ferrari.com website. I found the dimension of the vehicle, and it has this very interesting dimension that it has the wheelbase, but also has the front track and the rear track of the chassis. So we can scale this picture, and we can scale this picture from the mid to the mid of the wheel, and we can scale this picture from the mid to the mid of this wheel, of this picture. That's going to be very useful. Of course, this is a very unique case where you find a lot of pictures of the same model. It's not always like this. Sometimes it's harder, but you have to do the work. Try to find as many pictures as possible. And if you happen to have an actual car where you can take pictures, you should try to take pictures like this. From far away with a lot of zoom, trying to be as orthogonal as possible, to be perpendicular to the vehicle. So this view is perfect. Too bad that it's missing the front here, but I guess we can complete it with this picture. And this picture of the back, this is perfect too. This picture of the front is perfect for reference. And pictures like this, like three three quarters perspective, three quarters are also very good. So let's start. So we're going to start with uh, not a photo match, but to just insert this picture that will serve as base. Just drag and drop in SketchUp. Let's scale it to the right dimensions. So let's draw the wheelbase here. The wheelbase is 2,280 millimeters. So let's 200 2,280 millimeters. There you go. Now let's just rotate. I'm going to put it here. And now we're going to draw the wheelbase. So the front wheelbase is 1,392 millimeters. So 1,392. we only need half. Oops, sorry. We only need half. So this is the front wheelbase. And the rear wheelbase is 1414 millimeters. So 1044, we only need half. Okay, so this is the other wheelbase. So from these pictures, we are going to scale them to the each wheelbase. And we're going to use them as the profile of the bodywork on that plane. It's going to be clear later on. So let's just do it. Oh, and let's save this model for, of course. As you can see, I have already done this because I really didn't want to, uh, you know, be too confused for this explanation. But we're doing it from scratch. Anyway. So okay, let's insert that picture. As you can see, we have two, two doors. So okay, from the front, we have two very similar pictures. Just try to pick the one that is most at front. You know, this is a little bit too high, so this is almost perfect. If I were taking this picture, I would have go down just a little bit more, probably to the same height of the middle of the wheel, just to get as perpendicular as possible to that plane. But this is going to work just fine. So now let's scale this picture up. To do that on SketchUp, you just need to, well, draw a line. Right? The picture is actually a little bit tilt, so let's fix that. Okay. Let's make this a component so we can scale this picture only. We are inside the component. So only so you can see it, if I put a dimension here, it's going to resize this on. So let's put the right dimension, that is 1392. And now let's grab it by the middle, put it in here. So that that match quite nicely. As you can see, we are concerned only is for this line. This is our main concern. And it's pretty much a match, super close. Now let's do the same for the rear. Exactly the same, just add the picture, we draw a line from the mid to the mid wheel here, make it a component, put the right dimension on it, and align it with the other one. So this is great. The only thing is that, well, it doesn't really matter. This picture is reversed. It doesn't matter. The car is quite symmetric. Okay, now that we have these two, let's proceed to do a photo match. Okay, so let's place the let's place our UCS at some point that we know. So it's going to be right here on the top of the door, on the middle of the vehicle. So now let's do the photo match. Okay, this is kind of hard to see because other pictures don't allow us to see. So let's hide these ones. Okay, now we can do a photo match. Remember, these points should be on the middle of each wheel at the floor. So far, that's what we have. And this point should be on the middle of the line that connects this one to this one. Let's use that line. So this one is on the middle from here to here. I'm using this as reference, this point. And now let's start the hard part. So this red line should also be on a line that is parallel to this one. As we said, we can use, for example, from this one to this one, or maybe check. Let's better use this one. It's more clear. It's not so clear here which one is. But I think I see it now. It's this one. Yeah, this one is from the back. Okay. And now the really hard part, the lines that goes in the other direction. Let's start the guesswork. So I was seeing a few artist interpretations. So for example, this line is quite straight, and it is like that on other artist interpretation of the vehicles. You see, this is straight. This is a racing version, but I think it's pretty much the same chassis. Also here, you see that line is horizontal. So we can assume that the mid of all this plane, the right middle from this middle to here is at 90 degrees. So this should work. Should work. Okay, now we need to have another one as farther away as possible. Now we could use this one. from this same point, right? But we know that it's not like this, it's pretty much like this. Oh, oh, we have a problem here. So the problem is the following. I was using the red ones on the wrong direction, so it should be the other way around. Oh, we might as well start again because this is not going to work. So let's start again. So the red ones goes here, and the green ones goes like this. I'm just doing it again. That's all. Because the model was at 90 degrees, and since I don't want to have to redo the image again, I just start it over. But it's the same explanation. So from the midpoint here to midpoint here. Okay, so this red one, as you can see, these lines should be on the right on the middle of each tire. So about here, we're so close. This one is good. I think this one is a little bit off for just a bit. So even the small adjustments that I'm making are not. Oh, we can also check that with the pictures. So let's hide this one. Oh, this is really good. So as you can see, this almost finished here. It's pretty much a match. I think it's a little bit high. And this one goes, this should be here. This one is a little bit low. So well, it's really good enough. Let's see the other ones. So this is harder to see. No, this is just too hard to see it right now. We just need to start drawing, and then we can recheck the image. Okay, so this is all what we have. Just a line, and what it should be the half of each tire. Just going to adjust this a little bit because it's driving me crazy. Okay. Oh, this one is better. Okay, good. That's very good. So we'll start to draw a few geometry. So the first thing I'm going to draw is this plane here. On the picture, we can have this as geometry. It will make things much easier. Oh no, let's just not do that because we're going to lose. Okay. I think there's a way to change that on the view settings, but I'm not going to mess with that right now. Okay, so let's just draw this here. Remember that this is just a reference model. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it doesn't, we're trying to make it perfect, but it doesn't have to be as much detail. So it doesn't matter if this line is segmented. It's no problem. So let's try to match. Okay, go. Now let's draw this one. That, like we mentioned, it's converging forward. I don't think this one goes all the way here because it says, or maybe it is. This is just a cut. Yes, it's great. Let's start it. In a complex model like this, it's even possible that I might have to go to Fusion, draw some surface, get back here to make the match. Is a possibility. Like I say, it doesn't matter if it is segmented. This is not going to be the actual geometry we're going to manufacture. But there we have it. Our few first geometry for this vehicle, for the reference of this vehicle. So far I like it. Yes, it makes sense. This is just to have a reference there for the glass. So this is really good. This is where we can take from this view. As you can see, the photo match it was on the cabin, on the cockpit. So that's done. Let's keep working on, for example, this line here. It's really important because that line it is also a section of the vehicle. Let's double check that. Yes, the line is a section of the vehicle. It's quite vertical. Awesome. That's just another project that I'm working on. So I'm drawing the plane where I'm going to draw this line. Well, there's not many people watching right now. It's no problem. I know that this is a really complex topic and it's a little bit hard to follow. But like I say, this is going to be online for at least few months. So I know for sure this is a really advanced topic. So I really hope that whoever is really interested in learning takes advantage of this. So I'm not liking what I'm saying right now. I guess the section is not an actual extrusion. I'm, I'm pretty sure it isn't. Oh, you see, this is what you need to have a plane to draw. So how far should we do in this one? Let's see. This one. So we weren't. I wasn't that far off. It's even really good. It's just this looks much better, much better. Actually, oh yeah, yeah. This looks much better. Let's see if we can find another vertical line or something. Look, in this picture, it does seem like these lines, at least on the chassis, they seem to be parallel. They seem to be parallel. On the artist's interpretation, hard to tell. Hard to tell. At least the door seems to be straight. I see this and I see a straight door. So it should be like this. But it doesn't seem to be working. So probably straight but not parallel to the other. So like this makes more sense. Something like this. Yeah, up to here. Yeah, something like this. Looks good. Let's make it a component. Let's mirror it just to have a good reference. Let's see how far off are we. Oh wow. Oh wow. This is not bad. Not bad at all. Seems to be like these two curves are too wide on top. Maybe that's true. Let's check with the front pictures. So yes, they do seem to be a little off. So let's fix that. Remember that in this picture they are a little bit behind the actual plane where we scaled the peak. We need to make it bigger. See? Now it's better. It's a little wide, but as I said before, this might be because the photo match. And if we match it here, this is really, really good. You just need to fix this one. Something like this. Seems to be closer to the real shape. Okay. Mm, maybe not as. Let's always check something here. So this is actually a little bit tilt. It's not like this artist interpretation. So that's why it looks weird. See? Oh, this is perfect. Let's just give it a 5, 6, and this is so close. Okay, yes, this is perfect. Really, really good. Actually, the first one was not this good. Okay, so we have that now. The cockpit is pretty much done. Let's work on other details. Let's work first on the rear light. On the rear light. Okay, let's just drop them here. Sorry. Why is not this? Okay, here. Okay, nice. Okay, and now just going to match it. This they do seem to have a little bit of an angle, so that's super important. Let's see how far we are we. Let's put this one. Okay, so that that is the rear headlight, the rear brake light. Sorry, brake light. It seems to be on the right position here. Okay, let's just do another detail. For example, let's do the wheels. So for the wheels, for now, I'm just going to draw some big cylinders. It's going to be it for now. There were actually dimensions for the wheels. We're here, I think. Well, now, I'm just gonna take that from the pictures. So the difference here, of course, is that the wheel is on the ground. So it's a little bit flat there. Oh no. Okay. So the wheel must match here. And, oh, this is really good. And it matched so close to the other picture. This is really really good. Okay, let's do the same with the real wheel. Let's check the dimensions. Sure. Yes, good. So let's make this the right dimension. Let's make it unique. Oh, this is sometimes sometimes I have to use a window material just to see the back of the window, no, glass. Yes, this. So I can see the back of the model on the back, because this one is here. From there, you can scale it up. And match it. Let's make sure the midpoint. And of course, that wheel is much wider. Well, this is not looking super great. Please remember the wheelbase also depends on the toe of the vehicle. That's a few things, but 7 millimeters is a good match. It's a really good match. A small difference there. Not sure if it is this wire. We're going to match that later. But it's working. Ah, we can double check with with the image. That was the reference. So we don't need to check that. Let's keep going. Now let's match the. Let's just draw this line here. Okay. Okay, let's have some. Let me show you the one that I was making before. It's pretty much the same. Let's just copy these two. It's really good, the fact that they just match. Align them. Oh. Okay. Let's double check everything. So the problem here seems to be with the center. Okay, this is better now. Okay. So this was just tracing the pictures, no big deal. Okay, the lights. Okay, now for a little harder one. On the model, we have this particular model. We have these crease lines on the top of each wheel. It's a very important detail of the vehicle. This crease line. So we're going to try to match them with the photo match. Let's do that. Okay, first, let's hide these ones. Them and just trace them here. Wow. going to trace them. You can see there's a little slight color difference there. That's a crease line. Okay, and let's trace this one too. It starts from here. It doesn't go all the way up, it's a little bit lower. And let's just close this and close this so it's easier to manipulate. Okay, now let's try to match them here. Okay, this one is pretty much a match. I think we need to rotate it in this direction. And this one is close here. I think we need to rotate it in this direction. Very close. Very, very close. And let's see how it's working on the right. Oh, so close. This is great. This is thing for the front. This is perfect. And now let's do the same for the back. Quite close. It's going to work for that. It's going to work. It's good enough for now. Okay. Seems working quite nicely. This is working quite nicely. So we are 2 hours in on the live. I mentioned that I do like to model more, but like I said, this also you also get mentally tired really fast. So I'm going to do just a couple more details. We're gonna leave it like this. Yeah, it's working really good. It's working really nice. Just have this the top here. Okay, the other detail we're gonna work on is this profile. This line here. It's really important. So let's see. Let's check the pictures and see how it's related. So it's not perfectly straight, so we have to keep that in mind, and it's a little bit below the axle line. We can work with that. So a little bit below the axle line. That's what is going to be our plane to draw. We'll start here. Uh-huh. Just erase all this. It's in place. That's really good. That's really, really good. Let's check with the yes. This difference probably is because what we're assuming is the mid of the vehicle, the half. So because of perspective, this is probably explains this difference. It's a little bit too big, so I'm gonna fix that. Now we can draw the middle line that goes from here to here. Again, using the photo match. So let's draw a plane. This line should go pretty much right on the middle of this band. And finish. Wow, it's way too big. It's way too high, right? So we'll check that. Oh no, okay. So the difference we're seeing is this one. It does need to be does need to finish like this. Maybe just a little bit. Let's do something. Let's finish this one here. Make it a component. And let's add this pic. Let's add this picture to the model. So I'm just trying to scale this picture. Match the tire. Maybe harder than I thought. It's weird. It's weird. I don't like it. so let's match only this one. This makes more sense. Okay, so this makes more sense. And this one, then both this one. It's going to be now for 2 here. And this one won't be like this. For some reason it's not, yeah, I don't like this. Let's just redo this. It might be a little higher, but definitely not as it was. So let's hide this one, this one. And we're just going to follow this line. Yes. Have to be somewhere in between, you know. Have to be somewhere in between. So I guess something like this would work. Now for this line to show up on Fusion, they need to be at least faces. So let's just okay, so there's a line that is heading. This kind of stuff does not happen with Fusion 360, so that's what I like. Okay. Okay, we're gonna leave this session for now. This is it for now. This is some really good progress for an hour or two. Really, really good. Next session, I'm going to place the headlights, place some other details, maybe this grill here, stuff like that. Maybe the air intakes and the lines of the mud guards. Those are really important. And then I'm going to import the model and Fusion and start actually modeling the final 3D printable model. So well, thanks for the few ones that joined me live. I hope this. I do understand this is a lot of info to take in. So watch the videos, with calm. Keep in mind that you're watching. I have 20 years of experience modeling, so this might look easy. It's not that easy. Just don't be frustrated if you cannot follow along. This is it does have a big stepping curve, a learning curve. So, but trust me, with practice, you will get there. So, bye, guys.